Cristiano Ronaldo, the man, the myth, the living abdominal muscle. If there's one athlete whose face is instantly recognizable to billions, it's him. You could sketch his jawline on a napkin and people in a dark room would still scream, Ronaldo. He's a global icon, a fashion model, a brand ambassador, and most importantly, a man whose hometown in Madeira, Portugal, decided to honor him in the most traditional way possible, with a statue. Now, making a statue sounds simple on paper. Step 1, get a sculptor. Step 2, make sure it looks like the guy. Step 3, don't humiliate your national treasure in front of the entire planet. But somehow, Madeira managed to trip on all 3 steps, like they were doing slapstick comedy. Enter Emmanuel Santos, a part-time airport cleaner turned sculptor. No pressure, right? It's only Ronaldo, arguably the most famous human face alive. Santos said he spent 3 weeks crafting the bust. 3 weeks! That's not a lot of time to capture a man whose cheekbones look like they were designed by a 3D printer running on Red Bull. Finally, the big unveiling came in March 2017 at Madeira International Airport, which was being renamed in Ronaldo's honor. The crowd gathered, the cameras flashed. Ronaldo stood there in his tailored suit, looking like a Greek god, and then the cloth came off. And what they saw was not Ronaldo. The thing staring back at them looked like Ronaldo's distant cousin who'd just lost a bar fight. His head looked inflated, like someone had pumped it up with a bicycle pump. Way too big for the haircut, awkwardly glued on top of it. The haircut didn't stand a chance, like a cheap wig stretched over a basketball. And the eyes? They gave off that unsettling, creepy neighbor who waters his plants at midnight energy. Not exactly the confident glare of the world's most famous footballer. And then came the smile, that crooked, awkward grin, the type of smile a shady plumber gives you after charging $500, and you later realize he didn't fix the leak, he just stole your pipes. The world had just been introduced to the most meme-worthy statue in history. The internet erupted instantly. Side-by-side comparisons flooded Twitter. It looked like Ronaldo if Picasso had tried to sculpt him during his lunch break. Others said it looked like Ronaldo after being hit in the face with a frying pan. One guy even compared it to Sloth from the Goonies. And once the memes started rolling, there was no stopping them. And the best part? Ronaldo had to stand there, stone-faced, pretending like this wasn't the single funniest insult to his legacy. You could see it in his eyes. His brain was screaming, This is what my hometown thinks I look like. This is the face children will pose with for selfies. But being Ronaldo, he smiled politely. The memes carried on for weeks. Late-night hosts roasted it. News channels that usually covered politics dropped everything just to laugh at this abomination. Even casual fans who didn't know Ronaldo suddenly knew him as that football guy with the cursed statue. And here's the kicker, Emmanuel Santos defended his work. He said art is subjective, that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and technically, he's not wrong. And hey, if you're laughing so far, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow, so I can keep bringing you wild stories like this one. Unlike Ronaldo's statue, you won't regret looking at it every day. Now, the backlash got so loud that the airport eventually replaced the statue with a new one, crafted by a different artist. And guess what? The second one actually looked like Ronaldo. Smooth jawline, sharp eyes. The kind of bust you'd actually expect for one of the greatest athletes of all time. But by then, the damage was done. The original statue had already cemented its place in meme history. It was immortalized, not as a tribute to greatness, but as a cautionary tale. Don't rush your sculptor, don't hire your cousin's friend, and for the love of God, don't unveil art until you know it won't traumatize small children. Santos, the sculptor, later admitted he was nervous working on such a big project. He even said Ronaldo himself told him to keep going after the first draft, which just makes me think, maybe Ronaldo secretly enjoyed it? Like, imagine being so famous, so perfect looking, that the world loses its mind the one time you're represented as ugly. Maybe it's humbling, or maybe he just didn't want to crush the dreams of a guy who really believed he nailed it.
The moment is great, I feel happy.
And funnily enough, Emmanuel Santos didn't stop at Ronaldo. He went on to sculpt Gareth Bale too. And let's be fair, it was a bit of an improvement. Still, it wasn't perfect. Bale looked less like a footballer and more like someone caught mid-sneeze. But Santos is clearly proud of it. He takes pictures with that bust regularly, smiling like it's the Mona Lisa. The memes outlived the outrage. People started photoshopping the statue's face onto actual Ronaldo. Tourists actually came to Madeira not just to see Ronaldo, but to take selfies with the monstrosity. Some fans joked it looked more like Niall Quinn than Ronaldo, while others said it had the same vibe as the head from Art Attack. In a weird way, the statue did its job. It made Ronaldo's airport famous, just not for the reasons they intended. Years later, the story still makes people laugh. Whenever sports stars get tributes, Twitter always goes, well, at least it's not Ronaldo's statue. It became the measuring stick for bad art. If you messed up, at least you didn't mess up that badly. And in fairness to Santos, he wasn't a professional sculptor with years of experience. He took his shot, he missed, and somehow that miss became legendary. It's like a striker scoring an own goal, but instead of ruining the game, he created an eternal comedy highlight. At the end of the day, Ronaldo's career is filled with perfect goals, glitzy awards, and a bank account that looks like the GDP of a small nation. But thanks to Emmanuel Santos, he's also got one glorious, terrible statue. And that's kind of beautiful in its own way. Because statues are supposed to immortalize legends, and this one did, just not in the way anyone expected. And to be fair to Santos, he eventually got another shot at sculpting Ronaldo years later. This time, he slowed down, took his time, and the result actually looked like the man himself. It was his redemption arc, proof that even the most roasted sculptor on the planet could bounce back. So, what do you think? Was Ronaldo's statue the funniest sports fail of all time? Or have you seen worse? Drop your answer in the comments and hit subscribe so I can keep bringing you more hilarious stories from the world of sports and beyond. Thanks for watching.